So hello everyone, in this video we'll talk about IPv6. IPv6, it is a new addressing scheme that is used in the current world, and we already seen the IPv4, which is the version that was used earlier. IPv4 is a addressing mode where 4 bytes are used, that is 2 to the power 32 bits space is used for the addressing method. But already there are a lot of addressing addresses that are available that can be allocated to the system. But why are moving from IPv4 to IPv6? Here the number of population which are using the devices are more. So every device need to be allocated with the new IP address, new and unique IP address. But as the number of devices increases, IPv4 method, it lacks to provide a unique IP address to those devices, where the number of addresses are decreasing, where the number of device users are increasing. In that case, it is difficult to allocate a new unique IP address to that particular device. So here we are going for the next version, that is IPv6 version. In this IPv6 version, instead of 4 bytes, it is going to provide 128 bits of addressing space, whereas IPv4 it just provides 32-bit addressing space, where the IPv6 it provides 128-bit addressing space. So here IPv6 address is an additional motivation with header format helps to speed processing as well as the forwarding. So this IPv6 it has a special header format which is going to help in speed processing as well as the forwarding the packets. Header changes to facilitate the quality of service. So here the service provided by the internet, it also helps to forward the packets at the faster rate with the best quality of service. So here IPv6 datagram format, it has a fixed length of 40 byte header and expanded addressing capabilities as well as flow leveling and priorities. We'll just look at them later. So here we have the IPv6 datagram format. In this IPv6 datagram format, we have a base header. That base header is fixed to 40 bytes size. And next we have the payload. That payload is again divided into two parts. First one is the extension header, which is an optional field, and the second one is data packet from the above layer, that is a payload part, the data which has been received from the above layer. So the base header it is common and which is of the fixed length, that is the 40 bytes header, whereas the extension header it is a optional field, so it is up to 65,535 bytes of payload. Among that, some of them are the optional headers, that is called as an extension header. So here figure shows the datagram format of IPv6 protocol. Each packet in IPv6 consists of a mandatory base header succeeded by the payload. So it is a mandatory base header. Next, payload includes two parts, namely optional extension header and data from the above layer. The base header consumes 40 bytes, extension header and the data hold up to 65,535 bytes of information. If the optional headers is not included, then this value is going to be 0, then the entire payload is up to 65,535 bytes. So the payload size, it depends upon the extension header size, where this is the optional field. So here we have the data IPv6 datagram format. First one is a version, priority, flow label, payload length, next header, hop limit, source and destination addresses as well as the data. These are some of the fields in the IPv6 datagram format. We'll just go through all of them one by all of them. Here first one is the priority. Here we have some of them like priority. It's going to identify the priority among datagrams in a flow. Flow label, identify the datagrams in flow, and next we have the next header, identify the upper layer protocols for the data. So we'll just study all of them one by one. Before that, this is the entire datagram format. It is of 32-bit length. Among this 32-bit length, version it is mainly of 4-bit, whereas this version it is of 4-bit. Priority class, or it is also called as an traffic class, which is of 8-bit size. Next we have the flow label, it is of 20 bits. Next is about the payload length. Payload length is up to 16-bit, and next header is up to 8-bit, and next we have the hop limit, which is again of the 8 bits. Source address is 128-bit and destination address is also 128-bit because it is a IPv6. Next we have the data, which is called as a payload data, which we are going to send. The first one is a version field. it's going to use the version of the internet protocol which contains a bit sequence. So we are going to represent the version field in this format. Right now we have it as a 0, 1, 2, 2, and that is we are going to represent the version in the form of binary decimal formats. So here we have the 4 bits which is going to indicate that. So if it is a IPv4 version, then we are going to represent in the binary format. If it is a IPv6, then we are going to represent the same thing in the binary format. So it is a 6 here, which is a binary representation of number 6. Next we have the traffic class, which is of 8 bits. Traffic class field indicates the class or priority of IPv6 packet, which is similar to that of the service field in IPv4 packet. It helps the routers to handle the traffic based on the priority of the packet. So whenever a router or the intermediate node is going to receive the packet, it's going to check for the priority of the packet. So here traffic class, it's going to indicate the priority of the packet, and there are different versions of the priority, such as first in first out. The packet which has going to arrive first, that need to be transmitted, which is of the smaller size, that need to be transmitted. These are some of the traffic classes. So depending upon the type of the traffic class, the packet will be forwarded further. The packet with the highest priority will be sent out first. So this is how the traffic class is going to perform. So here this 8-bit field, it's going to indicate that particular packet belongs to which traffic class. So if congestion occurs on routers, then the packets with least priority will be discarded. So here the highest priority packets will be transmitted first, and if there is a congestion in the network, then the lower priority packets will be discarded. Next we have the flow label, which is of 20 bits. This label is used to maintain the sequential flow of the packets belonging to the communication. The source label the source labels the sequences to help the routers to identify that a particular packet belongs to a specific flow of information. So this flow label, it is used to maintain the sequential flow of the packets that belongs to a communication. So here if you have a packet, if you have the large data, then it will be divided into certain packets, and here the sequential sequence flow of the packet is important. So if you are transmitting the large data into, it is divided into smaller parts, and then you are transmitting all those packets, then at the destination all of them need to be received in the sequential format. So this flow level helps to transmit the data in the sequential way. This field helps avoid reordering of data packets, and it's designed for the streaming or real-time media. So if we have the flow label, then at the destination the packets, whatever the packets they arrive at the destination, all of them are already they are already in the ordered format. So reordering is not done at the destination. Next we have the payload length, that is a 16-bit field, and this field is used to tell the routers how much information of a particular packet contains in its payload. So we know that payload, it is a actual data which is transmitted from the above layer. So how much data is being transmitted in that particular packet, that is indicated with a payload length. Payload is composed of extension header and the above upper layer data with 16 bits up to 65,535 bytes. So we already saw it earlier that extension header, it is extension header plus above layer data together, it is of 65,535 bytes, where the optional field is extension header. So it depends upon the extension header. If we are not using an extension header, then the payload length is up to 65,535 bytes. Next we have the next header, which is of 8 bits. Here the next header indicates the type of extension header immediately following the IPv6 header, whereas if some cases it indicates the protocols contained within the upper layer packets such as TCP and UDP. So we already saw a base header which is of 40 bytes, and next we have the extension header, and after that we have the payload. So here next header is it is going to indicate what type of extension header we are using. That is, if you are using the TCP protocol, then you use the TCP header. If you are using the UDP protocol, then you are using the UDP header, which is of 8 bytes and TCP is of 20 bytes size. So what kind of extension header you are going to use, that is specified by the next header field. Next we have the hop limit. Hop limit is of 8 bytes. Hop limit, it is similar to that of the TTL field, that is time to live field, and it is used in the IPv4 packets as well. It indicates the maximum number of intermediate nodes an IPv6 packet is allowed to travel. That is how many nodes a packet can travel before reaching the destination. That is indicated with a time to live. If it is specified as 10, then before reaching the destination, the maximum number of nodes the packet is allowed to travel through is specified as 10. So its value gets decreased by 1 by each node that is going to forward the packet, and packet is discarded when it's going to receive the value as 0. So every time if source is going to transmit a packet with the TTL value as 10, then when it moves to the next immediate router, then the value will be decreased by 1. Again when it moves to the next router, the value will be decreased by 1. So whenever the packet is transmitted by each node, that node is going to decrease the TTL value by 1. So when a node receives a packet with the TTL value as 0, then it's going to discard that packet completely. This is used to discard the packet that are stuck in an infinite loop because of some routing error. So packet is unable to reach the destination and it is just roaming in the network. In that case, every time it reaches one of the hop, the value will be decreased by 1. So when it turns to be 0, the packet will be discarded without causing any kind of congestion in the network. Next we have the source address, which is of 128 bits, and source address, it is IPv6, so the size is 128 bits. Again, same as the destination address, this is the address which is going to indicate where the packet need to be routed. So destination address field, it is going to indicate the IPv6 address of the final destination. All the intermediate nodes can use this information in order to correctly route the packet. So other changes from IPv4, the first one is checksum. So this checksum, this is similar to that of the internet checksum. The transport layer and the link layer protocols, in the internet layers they are going to perform the checksumming. The designer of the IP probably felt that this functionality was sufficiently redundant in the network layer, so it could be removed. Once it is going to reach at the destination, we are going to verify with whether the packet has been received properly or not. So we are going to remove the checksum field. So it is removed entirely to reduce the processing time at each hop. Next we have the fragmentation and reassembly is not allowed at the intermediate nodes. IPv6 it does not allow for fragmentation and reassembly at the intermediate routers. These operations can be performed only by the source and destinations. If IPv6 datagram received by the router, if it is too large for the forwarding, in that case it's going to generate an ICMP packet with an error message as packet is too big, and it will be sent to the source. So source can reduce the size of the packet. Next we have the options. Option field, it is no longer part of the standard IP header, and instead of this IP field, the possible next header can be used. That is, we have the base header, and next we have the optional fields, which is the extension header. So we can use the extension header. So the removal of the option field, it results in the fixed length, that is the 40 bytes of the IP header. So ICMP v6 version of ICMP. So if a packet is transmitted and at the intermediate node, as the fragmentation and reassembly is not allowed, if the packet is too big, then the packet will be discarded, and ICMP packet is going to send a message as a packet is too big back to the source, and the source is going to retransmit the packet with a smaller size. Next we have that as a multicast group management function. There are different types of addressing schemes that can be used, and one of them that is being supported here is Anycast address, which allows the datagram to be delivered to any one of the groups of the host. That is, multicast group management function is used for addressing. Thank you. Next we have a question is, with a neat diagram explain IPv6 datagram format.